Hello and welcome to today's reading. Today we are channeling a message for you specifically to talk about your new year. Today, the 22nd of January, marks the Lunar New Year. You may be listening to this before the new year or after. It really doesn't matter. This is a timeless reading, but we are picking up on the energy for your 2023 according to the lunar cycle. Also happening on the Lunar New Year this year is Uranus goes direct in Taurus. Uranus has been retrograde for quite a while, and it will be direct in the sign of Taurus. Uranus is bringing new ideas and forcing a reckoning with the old traditions and being stuck in our ways. We are being called to recognize that just because it is what has been done doesn't mean that it is necessarily right or correct. It's a great time to reflect on habits, behaviors, traditions, both personally and globally. This year in Chinese astrology is the year of the water rabbit, which is a symbol of diligence, having your wits about you, and creating something out of seemingly nothing. Your first card is the Nine of Wands, followed by the Four of Wands. These two cards came together, and when cards come out of the deck together and stack on top of each other or stick together, I take them together as one meaning. So, for example, the Nine of Wands will be in the context of the Four of Wands. With the Nine of Wands here, I can see that we are talking about some boundaries, creating boundaries, discovering boundaries, upholding boundaries. And in the context of the Four of Wands, which is showing me family right now, people who are close to you, people who have known you for a long time, who knew you before you knew you, if you know what I mean. So in this scenario, it sounds like you've been doing some work to get to know yourself better and to really discover who it is you are without other people's influence. And what I'm seeing here is that it's time for you to set boundaries with these people around you, the people who saw you grow up and saw you get to the point where you are. If you are someone who has a very healthy relationship with your family, with your friends, this might be coworkers or just simply people who have been around you for a while. It doesn't necessarily need to be your whole life, but for the most part, for most of you, I am seeing that this is family or friends who have been in your environment for a good chunk of your life. It looks to me like they are reinforcing or forcing you to face off with your old self, the self that was entirely built upon survival and coping with the reality that you are given. And now it looks like you have done quite a bit of work. You have a bit more freedom to be yourself. Maybe you've just come of age, or you've moved out recently, or you're thinking about it. It sounds like you are at a point where you know who you are, or you at least know what direction you should be going in, and for some reason the people around you are causing you to question that, or you are considering dimming your light to keep them comfortable. Now, as I mentioned before, it is the Lunar New Year, and the theme of the new year, in addition to Uranus going direct in Taurus, makes me think that this is something that has been going on for a long time. Maybe you're getting pushback from your family because you want to do something that is not what the family has done. For example, it could be something like you don't want to celebrate your birthday this year in the same way that you've always celebrated it, all the way up to you're in a family business and you don't want to be a part of it anymore or at all. or maybe you want to, your whole family are scientists or researchers or something like that, and you really want to become an artist or vice versa. What I'm seeing, however, is that whatever it is that you are wanting to become, you perceive that it would be a fracture point in some way. And what I am seeing here is that I'm seeing two scenarios for different people in this reading, people who are listening to this reading. For one group of you, it feels like a big step, and it feels like an enormous rupture if you were to go ahead with the way you want to live your life, the boundaries that you want to live by. But it probably won't be as big of a deal as you are making it out to be. Now, some of you right now are recoiling, and you are retreating into yourself, and you're like, that's absolutely not true. And for those of you who are feeling that way, you're right. It is going to be a huge deal for you. And I'm seeing that you have a choice to make in the coming months is what is coming to me. In the coming months, you have a choice to make about whether you value being connected to these specific people more than you value being authentically who you are and growing and really expanding your awareness to these new things that you're interested in. And it's okay if you choose to stay in your family. That's totally fine. I'm going to continue using the term family, but please feel free to apply it to whatever situation you're facing, whatever group of people. This is definitely a group of people. It could be one or two, but it is people that you are dealing with that they're attempting to keep you in an old energy. So, like I said, for some of you, this might not be them actively trying to keep you small and in a certain view. If you're not sure about this, if you're not sure about whether it would be such a horrendous thing, it probably won't be. It probably will be just fine. It's simply that the people around you don't know anything about this desire of yours, and because they don't know, they aren't even thinking about it, and they're pushing you towards what they think you want. And until you voice that you want something different, they won't know that. I'm getting that something that will help you when you confront them. For the group of you who are dealing with people who would probably be okay with this change that you want to make in your physical life, to keep in mind that the people who are pushing you towards what they think you want are only doing that because they want to see you happy and healthy and safe. And if you remember that that's their prerogative, when you tell them about this, you can tell them exactly how this new situation or new venture or new way of being is going to accomplish those things for you. For those of you who have a situation where the people around you are not at all workable, are not looking out for your best interests, the best thing you can do is really just decide whether, like I said before, whether you value your freedom more or your connection more at this moment. And if you choose your connection, that's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up over this. Keep evaluating and reevaluating and reevaluating, and you will discover what makes you the happiest through constant self-examination. Underneath the deck, we have the Judgment card. This is your underlying reading today. I am getting that you are at a point where you have a lot of information about yourself, about who you are, about what you would like to do, or at least the direction you would like to try out. And you are at a point where you need to start sorting out your life. And I'm getting that you may be spending a lot of time doing many different things, whether these are things that you would consider to be productive or leisurely doesn't really matter. However, what I am seeing is that you need to take the new values that you have discovered for yourself, the new direction that you would like to go in, and match it up with what you're doing in your day-to-day life. You may be going to work every single day and coming home and eating and going to bed, and you are making ends meet, but you aren't necessarily making ends meet in a way that will help you get to this goal or help you create this new life that you are looking to call in. It may also be that you are avoiding confrontation with your family, even though you know that it's inevitable and that it's the best thing for you. If this sounds like you, maybe spending less time with people or things that distract you from that particular conversation or conversations would be beneficial at this time. You may also be spending a lot of time thinking about what you want to do, thinking about what you want to create for yourself, and not a lot of time practically doing anything. This is something that I have faced, and it is not fun, and it is frankly exhausting, and it feels like you are spinning your wheels and you just can't catch a break, and you just get more and more and more exhausted. And for those of you who are feeling this way and can't quite figure out how to get out of the loop, I would recommend just finding the smallest, simplest, easiest thing you could possibly do in the direction of this new thing, this new pursuit of this new value, and do that. For example, if you want to begin a new business, then maybe watching or listening to some people talk about what it's like to set up a business is something to start with. Or maybe the first step is to make a website, find a free platform, and just play around with it. Anything that you can do to just get the energy flowing will help you immensely. I'm also getting with the Judgment card that those of you with a difficult relationship with these people around you who are enforcing these old patterns, you know the steps that you need to take, but you're scared to take them. And something that might help you is that if you aren't jumping ship into the ocean and rather into another boat or onto a life raft of some kind, it will be easier to make the jump. So for example, if you currently live with your parents and you want to break free, you want to break away, assuming that you are legally able to do so, maybe asking a friend or extended family who aren't too involved in the family situation if you would be able to spend some time with them while you are getting on your feet. Or maybe if you are in this situation and you don't yet have a job, maybe getting a job, something super simple and mindless that you can handle really easily just to get some cash so that you can build up a savings to get out of the situation that you are in. I'm really feeling like any small step that you can do to reassure yourself that you will not be stuck there forever and that you have options and that you can create options for yourself is really going to help you have the confidence to face up to this challenging situation. Regardless of your situation, I am seeing that you are a beautiful, inspiring person who has a lot to give, and that you have a lot of wisdom inside of you that is begging to come out. I am getting that you might be a melancholy sort of individual. You might feel like you are extremely introverted and that you don't like people at all, really, and that when you hang out or you are forced to be around other people, they make you angry or frustrated, and you might feel a little bit like they are overlooking very basic facts. This is a very specific message, so if it doesn't resonate, you can leave it. But for those of you who it does resonate with, you're not crazy, and you have a lot of wisdom, and it's not obvious to everybody. And this ability to see these things that you feel are obvious, but clearly to others are not, this is a gift that you can use to help you create a life that you want, to find connections with people, and to, in a way, it's your gift to humanity itself, but you can't give it to them until you feel safe enough to share yourself with others. And I'm getting that for many, if not all of you, you are not feeling that level of comfort at this time. And ultimately, I think this year is about creating that sense of security and stability, whether it's in your living situation, your connections, or simply with yourself and your own opinions about yourself, your beliefs. This will give you that emotional security to begin to open up to the world, both being receptive to it and also allowing others to see you for who you are and for what you have to offer. Of course, you are not something that, you are not a commodity. So when I say that you can share these things and that you have a lot to offer, it doesn't mean that your value is what you offer. Your value is inherent in your being, and that's something that you will begin to discover if you haven't already. The things that you offer is something that will feel like you are actually giving to yourself. It's going to feel energizing, rejuvenating, like there is an abundance of energy flowing into you while you share these things about yourself or about your perspective or understanding of reality. We also have the Queen of Swords showing up here, which I am taking to be your energy, and maybe you aren't embodying it currently, but this is the energy that you are stepping into. Nevertheless, this is your energy if you resonate with this reading. The Queen of Swords is someone who is almost brutally honest with themselves. They are a truth seeker. They're a person who is able to cut through the bullshit, cut through the confusion and fear, and make decisions for themselves based on their truth. You are someone who is on a journey to find your personal truth and completely uncover it as much as possible. You are someone who is on a journey to fully understand who they are, fully understand themselves and their truth, and regardless of whether other people approve of you, you have decided that it means more to you to be authentic than to have the approval of a herd, if that makes any sense. And I'm getting that you might be still afraid that you are going to be all alone, and this is a very valid fear. It's likely the very fear that has held you back from embracing your truth to begin with. And what I am getting is that while the fear is valid and you have been treated in such a way that you feel unsafe to share yourself, when you do begin to share yourself with people, your authentic self, you will discover that the people who really get you and really do want to be around you for who you are, not the person you have presented as in the past, the people who resonate with your truth, they will flock to you in droves. They will just come out of the woodwork, seemingly, and they will be there for you. It may take a while. You may not have hundreds of people around you when you first start on this journey, but they will come to you, and it won't be years from now. It will be fairly soon. As soon as you start embracing these different aspects of yourself and not being ashamed of them and hiding them, those parts of your personality will start to call people to you who are aligned with your authentic self. I think that you have a lot to look forward to this coming year, and I think that one of the biggest themes for you in terms of rewriting old patterns has a lot to do your own psyche, your mental processes, the way you think about yourself, about life, about reality, about relationships, and creating new relationships with people that are more aligned with you. I'm also getting that you may make a few friendships right out of the gate, right off the bat, and they may not be quite right for you. They may feel good in certain ways. They may feel good because they validate certain parts that you are recently uncovering, but hold them loosely because you may feel the need to hold on to these friendships and really identify with them. But these friendships are encouragements, not lasting relationships. That doesn't mean that you can't make any friends or that you won't make any friends, but when you're younger and you make friends and you have people over, or you go to other people's houses, or you just play where at school or something like that, and then they're best friends, and you label someone as your best friend, and that means that you do everything together and no one else can be their best friend. This is the kind of energy I'm picking up, that you might be wanting to really secure these people into your life, and they may not be beneficial to they may not be compatible with you in that sense, but in the sense of encouragement and casual friendship, they definitely are. So when these people come into your life, hold it loosely and let it develop the way it naturally will. You don't need to force these relationships. The people that come into your life for who you are, it won't be something that you need to force anyway. So if you are feeling the need to really hold tightly to these new friendships, then even though it seems counterintuitive, take it as a cue to take a step back. Maybe don't text them as much, or don't call them as much, or don't initiate contact quite as much. Not because you don't want to be friends with them, but because you want to keep yourself from reacting out of fear of losing this connection. At the same time, you may be a little bit trigger happy when it comes to releasing people from your life this year, or you may have the tendency to do that, and that may have been something that helped you in the past. I think what I'm seeing is that even though a friendship may not be your best friend and you may not be compatible in every way possible, the few ways that you are compatible are valid and are worth investing in with that particular person. It doesn't mean that you need to invest all of yourself into this relationship, but don't cut it out just because they aren't completely compatible with every part of you. Focus on the places where they are compatible with you and do those things. For example, if they love coffee and you love coffee, go to coffee shops together. Don't take them to the Space Museum if that's not something that they're interested in, but you are. I hope that makes sense to you. What I am seeing, however, is that this year for you is very much about your relationships, the people around you, your support system, your emotional resources, how you use them, and how you build up your own emotional reservoir. That is all I'm seeing for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. Please like it and subscribe if you aren't already, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a video. I hope you have a wonderful new year. Have a beautiful 2023, and I will see you next time. Bye.